welcome to In the Mailroom. I'm your host, Mallory. This is episode 1. Today, who I'm bringing on is a registered dietitian, Jessica. I'm super excited. She's also a certified personal trainer, so we have a lot of really good information coming. I also had you guys enter in some questions that you wanted me to ask her, so we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. So without further ado, Jess, welcome. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
I'm so excited. Okay, so first, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been a registered dietitian for 16 years. I did my undergrad and grad school in Michigan, so that's where I'm originally from. But currently I work with critically ill trauma patients. So I work in a trauma hospital, and my focus is that every day. I also do nutrition seminars via Zoom. I work with one-on-one clients, and I still dabble in the fitness industry a little bit as a coach. So
that is crazy.
That is, yeah.
So you're just busy.
I'm busy. I chase around a little toddler all day too.
So I just want to start with, like, what is a misconception about, like, food and diet?
Well, honestly, I would say that it's not a one-size-fits-all, right? As much and as easy as it would be, there are just so many factors that influence what and how we should be eating. Age, our personal goals, disease states. So all of those factors influence and direct a dietitian's prescription really into what a meal plan should look like.
Like medical conditions, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does climate have anything to do with?
Well, I think climate influences how we want to eat. You know, on days like today in South Florida when it's not even 60 degrees, staying in with comfort food is something.
So seasonal depression causes people to just want to stay in, eat unhealthy.
Yeah.
I had a couple of questions from the followers that I want to kind of just pair together, because it seems like social media plays a really huge role in diet and fad diets and things like that, and they hype up things. So speaking with that, so social media, there's a lot of diets that are in fads that are really hyped right now, like Whole30, 75 hard, intermittent fasting, and keto, and also carbs, just carbs in general. I think mostly women and girls kind of freak out when they hear the word carb. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're all looking for a quick fix, to be honest. And who doesn't love hearing, hey, if I stop eating carbs, like the keto diet, or I don't eat for 16 hours in a day, I'm going to lose a lot of weight. Is it true? Sometimes yes. Sometimes it is very true. Is it healthy? Never. We do see a lot of things on social media that influence us to do things without even looking into the research. And honestly, data is super important. So sometimes it's more about what we don't know. I mean, we truly actually don't know what the keto diet is going to look like in 10 years. What are the people going to look like in 10 years that eliminated a big food group out of their diet for a long time? It's also not sustainable. So looking at what works right now rather than what works forever. That's probably one of the things that makes me cringe the most, is when I see people without the proper education influencing people to try different things. And honestly, again, it goes back to that one size fits all. What works for one person doesn't necessarily work for someone else.
When you say the proper education, explain a registered dietitian to a licensed nutritionist. Is it licensed?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So
just nutritionist.
A registered dietitian, or an RD, has a minimum of a bachelor's degree and an accredited internship. Post bachelor's degree, I had a year internship, and then I had to sit for the state boards. That type of education also has to be maintained. The state of Florida has certain recommendations or requirements, and then our licensing board has requirements that we have to fulfill to maintain our license. So the education is ongoing. It doesn't stop. My education has to stay current. A nutritionist doesn't have to have any formal education. Like, Mal, you love to work out and you may eat a certain way. Well, you can claim you're a nutritionist because of just that.
Just because
yeah. And there are some forms of education, like, ACE and NASM hold nutritional
study programs.
Yes, exactly. Study programs. So there are certain people who have maybe more education than just someone who has none. But they don't have the formal education.
Just based on what I've seen with nutritionists, is they just kind of see what works for them and they kind of preach it to their friends, families, or clients and things like that without any license or, you know, credits behind them.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people now with social media just kind of believe what they believe like really quickly instead of asking for what credibility do you have?
Right.
Did you go to school for this? Is it a certification? And not that those certifications probably don't give a lot of great information, but I think being a registered dietitian is much better.
Well, I really do think it does go back to like specific goals and lifestyle. I mean, if you have an influencer that shows off her 6-pack of abs every day, and she's eating a certain way for her specific goals, but somebody else who may have those exact goals would eat very differently. And again, it's diving into like what their lifestyle looks like. Not everybody has 3 hours a day to work out.
Yes.
And not everybody has the means to buy all of the things that can assist with that nutritionally. So it really is super, super specific.
To the person.
To the person, yeah.
Okay. So let's go to how important is gut health, how to improve it, and is organic really better for you?
Sure. Well, honestly, gut health, right? Let's talk about what that even means. So anything and everything we ingest is digested in our GI system. So keeping that really healthy is really important. Otherwise, you're going to malabsorb vitamins and minerals. The things that you maybe spend money on supplement-wise wouldn't be absorbed like it should be. So how do you, maintain one of the most important organs in your body? Honestly, it's eating raw fruits and vegetables.
Raw?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep. So things with fiber.
Okay.
Vegetables and fruit have the most fiber, whole grains, stuff like that. That will keep your body in motion.
Now, is there a specific way or timeline to be eating fruits and vegetables? Now, also, is juicing a problem? Is juicing bad?
So juicing does take a lot of the fiber out
that we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, so as far as like raw vegetables and fruits, would you say to eat them before like meats or poultry and things like that? Like is there an order that should be better?
My rule is you want 5 colors every day.
Okay.
Eat 5 colors every day.
I feel like we're going back to like something so simple that we just completely forget about.
You forget about it,
So when you say 5 colors, what 5 colors? Like what do you mean by that?
All right, so an apple's red.
Okay.
Right. Pepper can be orange or green. You have your green leafy vegetables. Honestly, white is a color.
Yeah.
So that's rice and pasta. Again, look for 5 colors a day to keep your gut healthy.
Okay. And then the organic thing.
Organic. Okay. So is organic better? Yes and no. I would say meat.
Okay.
Your chicken, poultry, fish, whatever it is. Is organic better than not? Yes.
Okay.
Because it's really how is that animal being fed and raised, and then they don't have to do anything to the integrity of that meat when they sell it.
Gotcha.
So fruits and vegetables, honestly, make sure you're washing your fruits and vegetables. But a lot of the things that they use on fruits and vegetables is for like in the fields that there's not a lot of weeds, right? So the pesticides and stuff that they're using, realize they've used them 50 years ago.
Okay.
And we didn't have organic 50 years ago.
And I feel like people hear the pesticides and they freak out and think it's like something semi-new, but it's definitely been around for a while.
Definitely been around for a while, right?
Okay. So how would you recommend washing vegetables? Like soaking them?
Sometimes you can buy it already washed. Yeah, I would just make sure you're rinsing them off very thoroughly,
Just to get like dirt and excess, like stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
And again, the pesticides are actually important for farmers. Otherwise, there would be a lot more weeds than produce.
Okay.
So in an attempt to not have those weeds grow, they're spraying their fields and then cultivating their fruits and vegetables. And yes, we should be just washing them. But when it comes to meat,
choose organic.
I would choose organic if you have the means to do so.
And then I've just recently learned the difference of farm raised versus wild caught as far as fish. Because I don't eat meat, but I'm a pescatarian, so I eat fish. And I just heard that there's a difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard that before. And I think that I don't know if maybe it's just my head that I do now taste the difference between the two, but there's a difference between it, meaning wild caught is like fresh fish. They're just out and about, but farm raised means that they're like swimming in their own like filth, right? Is that correct?
They're swimming in a cage. You know,
Okay.
they're swimming in someone's
Box.
box in a pen, right? Yeah, just like chickens.
Okay, so that's the same thing with meat then, because I don't know that since I don't eat meat. So is there a difference between, is there farm raised and wild caught?
No, not really.
Okay.
It does really just pertain to fish though.
Okay.
Like fish,
It's mostly fish.
you'll see that. But you'll see like grass-fed beef
Okay.
is, you know, and that's typically the more organic side rather than corn-fed.
Okay.
Yep. So
Grass-fed.
grass-fed is natural. Corn, again, is going to be something that is ground and just fed.
Forced to that, like
Yeah.
essentially forced.
Yeah, and you'll notice a difference in the size of chicken breasts, like if you buy them, between
Wow.
farm-raised and regular.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So someone who doesn't eat meat, whether they're vegetarian or vegan,
Mm-hmm.
right? I guess that'd be the only other options that absolutely don't eat. What would you recommend anything that they really just focus on to get into their diet? Since they're not eating any animal products.
Yep, amino acids
Okay.
would be the big one.
Interesting. Now, when you say amino acids, what?
So, for instance, there are essential amino acids that we need to get through our food. And so if you're not getting them through meat, then you can buy them.
Okay. And is it like a pill? Is it a true
It's
pill?
like usually like a powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've seen those that like.
So you'll see
Yes.
EAA, essential amino acids. And
Mhm.
that's what, if you're not getting protein through animal sources, then that's what you should be focusing on. That's a
Okay.
big one.
Amino acids.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be making sure I'm getting those.
Amino acids really are what proteins are made of.
Okay. And I feel like vegetarians, vegans probably do a good job about getting like they probably have good gut health because they probably only eat vegetables. Right?
So,
And-
you know, honestly, the more your body has to work and break down fruits and vegetables, again, things with fiber, the better off you are. So, most likely, yes.
Now, would you recommend taking fiber if someone struggles to eat vegetables or anything like that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, obviously, if you struggle to eat fruits and vegetables, and you're probably lacking in some other minerals, so good vitamins are great to have on board. You know, you really don't need a vitamin if you're eating your 5 colors a day.
Ooh.
You really don't.
True.
But if you're not, then yes, having a vitamin on board is really, really important. But
Like a multivitamin?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's like a multivitamin, and again, like it can be very specific to, you know, your dietary needs. Yeah, fiber, man, it's just one of the best things that we can put in our bodies.
Important.
So, yes.
Okay. What ingredients should we look for on nutrition labels? What's like a red flag? What's something that we want, don't want?
Yep. So first you have to know how to read one.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay if you don't, but you should really educate yourself on how to read a food label because it's really important.
Yes.
Super important, and I can dive into all that at a later
Yeah.
time. Let's see, one thing to really look for, right? Let's say the good is just ingredients that you can pronounce.
True.
You know? And
I've
like
started
your
doing
ingredient
that.
list
Yeah.
is like either this big or it's this big.
Yeah.
So the smaller the ingredient list, the better, because really it's just more whole.
I would say
Really?
even like I remember hearing about it and I was like, okay, let me see if I can even pronounce things.
Yeah.
Something as simple as switching the right peanut butter. It's regular red container peanut butter. Then they have their natural peanut butter, same
Sure.
brand.
Yep.
And if you compare the ingredients, it's massively different.
Yeah.
Same brand, different bottle. One has like salt, peanuts, and like oil.
Yeah.
The other has like all these other
All the
ingredients
things.
that I can't pronounce.
Well, so all those other things are really what you want to try to cut down as much as possible. A big one is hydrogenated oil, because what that really means is they're adding hydrogen bonds into the preservation process. So it's like anything packaged, and some things you need it,
Yeah.
but the more packaged products you eat, the more hydrogenated oils you're consuming. It's really bad fat. Let's just say that. It's the bad fat for you that you don't want. It's the fat
Does it say
is,
that? Does it say hydrogenated or
Mhm.
does it say another?
It does.
It does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hydrogenated.
So you really want to avoid that.
I'm gonna have to
Again,
spell that on the
that
screen.
is like-
because
yeah.
I don't know how to.
that is like for, again, if it's a packaged product, it has to stay good somehow.
Yeah.
So they're adding that extra hydrogen bond for preservation. And it's just really, it's a bad fat for us.
I've heard this term of staying on the outside aisles of a grocery store.
Sure, yeah.
And like the closer in and
well, I'll say this. Yes, for the most part, but they are putting their their sales now on the outside, whatever. But yeah, you're gonna find your fruits and vegetables and your dairy and your meat on the outside. And closes. Then you have all your aisles with the other stuff.
Packaged products. But like rices and stuff are in the inner. So I guess that term is used loosely, but definitely when you look at it from an outside perspective, you definitely see like the healthier options on the outside.
Definitely.
Now, kind of going on that outside, I'm trying to think of a grocery store. Milks and dairies. I know that there's a ton of non-dairy products. There's the almond milks, oat milks, any type of nut. I think they've made into a milk at this point. Is it really better for you if it's not dairy, but it has all of these other ingredients in it?
That's a big topic.
That's a big topic.
Yeah, dairy's a big topic. Personally, I won't say that I completely erased it from my diet, but with age, with things change.
Yeah.
During pregnancy, I formed this allergy to lactose, so I stopped drinking milk and stopped, eating yogurt and all that kind of stuff, and so I don't necessarily have that allergy anymore, but I also don't love how I feel when I have a lot of dairy in my diet. When you look at the ingredients list, it's not just lactose like milk would be. What you were probably noticing with your almond milks was the unsweetened versus sweetened.
Okay.
Right?
So it's probably just like added like sugars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Not only are you a registered dietitian, but you're also a certified fitness trainer. So when you are working out, and this I feel like is going to help a lot of women and men too, but I feel like men have no problems eating, like just at all times. But mostly like, do you eat before? Should you eat before? Should you? And also after? And like what would be like a good option time-wise and also like food-wise that you should have before or after?
So it's really trial and error, I'll be honest. I've learned personally with myself, I can't eat for I need to have like a 2-hour window before I work out. And it's just digest. It's just I don't like feeling full. It just weighs me down. Even if it's like not a lot, I just really need to be at that like empty level almost.
Okay.
But for instance, I compete and I do a workout called High Rocks, and it's very intense, right? So, and it's longer than an hour. Will my body need something if I'm working out longer than an hour? Absolutely. So I know, all right, I have to fuel my body with something before. So does every workout need a pre-workout or like a meal? No.
Okay.
It's really based on the intensity. So I'll say that if you're working out for longer than an hour, you should probably have something an hour beforehand.
Okay.
Right? Because your body will use what it has and then it needs to tap into what it doesn't have but to get you through that hour workout. If it's less than an hour, honestly, you don't. You really, really don't. But regardless, post, right? That's probably more important, is eating within an hour of working out.
After working out.
Yeah. Even if you're working out to lose weight, like let's say that's your motivator. If you don't replace what you've lost to some degree, your muscles don't grow. And the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you burn at rest.
Okay.
Right?
Which is what we want.
It's what you want.
Okay.
Yes, you want to do less work.
Yes.
Right? You want to wake up and start burning calories all day long. And again, the more muscle you have, the more your body will do that. So you have to feed yourself after a workout. And the good combination of protein, carbs, and fat is what you want. Really focusing on like a complex carb and some fat, but you want to know like one of the best things to have after a workout is chocolate milk.
Crazy.
Low fat chocolate milk because you have protein, carbs, and fat all in one.
So
but if you don't, like let's say you don't drink dairy. Right?
Yep.
I'm sorry, but your almond milk won't replace that, right? Because almond milk really doesn't have a lot of protein.
Interesting.
It doesn't. It takes the place of technically what you'd use milk for, like even if just drinking or cereal, right? But it doesn't take the place of protein, unfortunately. Now there are some brands that have high protein, like they'll add it in, but unless you're getting that specific brand, then it doesn't. Like almond milk doesn't have the protein that cow's milk does. So a protein powder would be good.
A protein shake.
A protein shake.
Okay.
Yep. Something to replace what you've lost. Protein powders are going to have a lot of like additives, and it's usually good. You know, vitamins, minerals, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I am particular to a few brands. You know, again, you also have to, what works for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally found something that I love and it works for me, and I'm really picky when it comes to the taste.
Yeah.
So I found something that I'm like, oh good, I found what works for me.
Do you use dairy-free or do you use whey?
I use whey.
Whey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's just give like a general recommendation as far as like maybe like diet, lifestyle, for the people that are watching. Like, what is just something that you would generally recommend for someone who wants to live a healthier lifestyle?
It's finding out, it's what's your why.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like for me, I want to stay healthy for my family, and I really love competing at a certain fitness level. That is my why. Okay. So I have figured out what that is right now, and it was different during pregnancy, and it was different before I got pregnant.
And age plays a big
Age
role.
plays a huge part in it, absolutely. So I think that what's your why? And then find someone to help you figure out how you can live that way with that goal forever. Mm-hmm. Because goals will change and lifestyle changes, and your diet should change with it. Okay. It should never just stay the same. It can't be a super restricted diet, right? Mm-hmm. It can't be your hard 75 for 365 days. No. It doesn't work like that, right? Mm-hmm. It has to work. You have to figure out what works for you, gets you to your goal forever.
Yeah, that's
and find someone with the education to get you there and to teach you how to live that way when your life changes.
I was going to say, in like being able to make the changes that are necessary as life changes, as age changes, as things
hormones change, right? Yeah. Big things happen in both men and women's lives that influence what and how you should eat.
I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of people that watch this and they're going to be like, I want to talk to her. I want to know more.
I'm going to be, I guess, hosting large Zoom informative classes, let's just say. Because you have to know what you're putting into your body. Yeah. Right? I teach people to count their macros, to figure out what that looks like, and then like to take it even a step further to work one-on-one with me. I not only teach you how to do that, well, I pretty much do that for you, but I'll teach you how that moves and changes as you reach your goals. Mm-hmm. And then I also tailor those specific macros to every single meal you eat during the day.
Now, when you have a one-on-one with someone, so you're sitting down with them for an hour or two, and you're working through all these things, do they have, like, what's their contact with you? Do they get to, do you, like, check in monthly, weekly? Like, what's the situation with that?
The only way it works is if you're really confident that you're doing the right thing. Okay. So I make sure you're doing the right thing. And that might mean a daily check-in. It might mean, you know, checking in more than once a day. Because I'd hate to sit down to a meal and be like, I hope I'm doing this right.
And not have a clue.
And not have a clue, right. So I just make sure there's no questions. And again, that might mean we talk once a week, once a day, once a month. Okay. And it really is very, very individual. I mean, I've had many clients that need a little, and I've had a lot of clients that need a lot.
There might be someone watching that is like, hey, me and my family, or me and a couple girlfriends, guy friends, whatever, really want to dive into knowing a little bit more about how do we count macros and some more information. And they go on the Zoom with you. They get to ask you questions personally. And then if they want to take it a step further past that Zoom, they would essentially just kind of let you know in the Zoom or contact you and say, I want to sit down with a one-on-one with you. And then you can even take it further. So there's lots of different options.
Lots of different options.
This is one. The Zoom would be 2. Step 3 would be long-term.
You might need a little, you might need a lot. And so I can tailor that to what you need.
I think that's good about a group Zoom too, is that you might be able, like there might be, let's say 10 people in the Zoom, and there might be 2 people that get into that Zoom and they get exactly what they need out of that Zoom. Then there might be 8 people that have no idea and they still just need a little extra. And then they go one-on-one with you. Right? Something like that? That's awesome. I think ultimately what it is comfortability, and when somebody is ready to take that step. Because I think why the fad diets and all these things happen is because they see such a short-term period, like, oh, if I do this for 2 weeks, 30 days, 75 days, and they're going to see the results they want, and then they move on with their life. And I feel like those are the people that probably really need to buckle down and meet with somebody that knows what they're talking about and get that one-on-one help. And it's not scary. It's really not scary. I mean, you guys see she's not a scary person. She's not going to bite. And I think that it's good that we had this conversation and it opens up that people now have that first step and now they'll be able to get in contact with you and just get more information. Honestly, I feel like I learned a lot.
That's the thing, like knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of knowledge out there. There's a lot of information that is just, it's leading people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
It actually is not hard.
Yeah.
If we go back to like basics, it's the long-term results that you can do forever and ever that will lead a healthy lifestyle, get you to your goals, and make you feel really, really good about what you're doing.
I really appreciate that you came on today.
Of course.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of her information down in the description below. So if you guys want to get a group together and do a Zoom with her, or if you want to jump right to the one-on-one, her information to contact her will be down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm super excited for this new series, so stay tuned for our second episode.